So the day for me usually begins around about 6 in the morning. I usually start off by replying to email and social media DMs that I didn't get around to the day before. Work out every other day, but today I think we're gonna go grab some coffee at my coffee spot that I like to get my coffee from in Oceanside over here. And then from there, I get the day started. So this is my coffee spot, the Parlor in Oceanside, California. The best donuts, best coffee in the world. So I have a broad range when it comes to art styles. You know, I like to do everything from cartoon to stuff that's more realistic looking. And my style is usually predetermined by the subject or the idea that I come up with, and I start to try to think what the best execution for those ideas are. My ideas are usually inspired by some kind of humor or like parody a lot lately, and so it usually starts off with some rough sketches, some ideations, and kind of getting, you know, the composition right, and from there, once I see something I like, I kind of elaborate on that. Then I'll drag it into Illustrator usually, or Photoshop, and start beginning to kind of carve it out and making adjustments and tweaks or whatever along the way. But that's usually the beginning process. Usually kind of starts with, you know, just rough sketches. Yeah, so this is Oceanside, man. This is where I grew up. I kind of like to say that Oceanside was the epicenter of skateboarding, especially in the early 90s. And I say that because, you know, a lot of the pros lived here, and it was also the home of Transworld Skateboard magazine. Yeah, awesome place to grow up. In the 80s, I think it was what, 85, 86, there was a contest down at the pier here that I'm taking you to right now, Oceanside Street Attack, and I was there, and this is where I got to see a lot of pros for the first time. So yeah, what a way to start the day. A little bit of coffee, some sunlight on my face, help with the vitamin D. I always like to start the day with getting a little bit of sunlight. I feel like it helps your immune system and stuff, but check it out, man. Oceanside, California, beautiful, right? So this hill back in the day, when I first started skateboarding, if you could make it down this little slope right here, you were the man. You get screaming by the time you get down to the bottom. Sick. This was actually one of the first handrails that anyone ever saw anyone try to slide, and it was Natas Kappas back in 1986, I think it was, Oceanside Street Attack, in one of his contest runs. And when people saw that, I feel like the dynamics of skateboarding kind of pretty much changed at that point. Like, I mean, you know, it just expanded your mind to what was possible that much further in skateboarding. It was almost like the beginning of a new era seeing that, so that was amazing. 1985, 86 or whatever, Natas Kappas on this thing. Amazing. Like, this is when people were kind of just starting to kind of ollie, you know what I mean? The highest ollie at that point probably had been like, you know, somebody ollieing over a curb block or some shit, but Natas, no problem. Yeah, man, this is where it all happened. Pretty sick, huh? Yep, so here we are back at my office. Got some sunlight in my face, got some coffee in me, and now I'm kind of ready to go. My creative process usually consists of me, depending on what I'm working on, right? You know, if I'm working on graphics, I'm kind of doing rough sketches. I'm searching on the net and kind of, you know, researching for composition and just different bits and pieces and elements, just kind of food for thought. And with shoes, as you know, I do graphics, I do shoes, a little bit of everything. All things creative is all things me. The same thing with the shoes. The shoes is a little bit a different process because it's like I'm, mainly kind of searching a range of things, right? I mean, from different fashion stuff, different shoes, clothing, architecture, and kind of looking at the world in a different way. And so some of the boards that I've been doing for Everybody Skates are these collaborations where I take two legendary pros and create one graphic that represents them both. As an example, here's one of the boards I did combining Tommy Guerrero with Mark Gonzalez. And basically what I did was I took inspiration from Tommy Guerrero's old Powell graphic with the flames and the sword, and I took Mark Gonzalez's character from one of his boards back in the day and combined the two, and you have the Tommy Gonzalez board. Boom. So the future for me and my art, I feel like I'm just kind of beginning to scratch the surface on this dual collab concept, and so the future for me is to basically elaborate on that. I think that there's a lot of legends left in our industry to draw from, and so I'm looking forward to continuing on this path of these awesome dual athlete, dual legend collabs for Everybody Skates. Pretty excited about some of the plans I have in the future and some of the collabs that I'm going to be tapping into this year.